All right. How's it going, guys? It is the Christian Men's Illustrated podcast. We are back again. This is episode number 7 already. So thank you for all of us that listen and help us build this podcast, which is still in its infancy state. So we encourage you guys, really our 3 platforms, our Facebook, Christian Men's Illustrated, Spotify, just search Christian Men's Illustrated, or our YouTube channel, and it'll be great. How are you guys today?
Good. Super
Awesome.
Good.
Greg Walden's back from the land of Colorado. It was a couple weeks ago, but I'm sure he had a wonderful time there.
It was awesome.
In my favorite state in the United States of America.
Yep, it was great.
So
They even got some hot tomato oils there.
yeah.
Did you get any green chilies?
times.
Huh?
Did you get any green chilies?
No, not green chilies. Like just the hot tomato is like a pizza place.
Oh,
Dude, it's like the best pizza place in the whole universe.
Yeah, Fruita, Colorado. You haven't been there. So you're repping the Bobby Boucher
that's right.
jersey today. If you're watching online, I'm bouncing over to you, just only you on the camera right now.
Okay.
Rep that for those watching. There it is. Bobby Boucher official jersey. If you remember that movie way back in the day now. So anyway,
Best
Adam
movie ever.
Sandler, that's kind of interesting. He's just doing like Netflix stuff now.
I think so, yeah.
And I did read there's going to be Happy Gilmore 2 coming out.
You think it's going to be good?
Probably not. It's probably going to be like challenge our
Yeah,
Christianity as Christian men.
You need to do the line. The line.
Oh, I'm not good with that.
That's some high quality H2O.
Yeah. All right. So we talk about stuff guys love. Monday morning, there's all kinds of good stuff to talk about. So what do you want to get out of the way? Should we just get our sports out of the way first here, whatever it might be? So another crazy day in the NFL yesterday, whipped through the scores. You got guys got any hot takes, but the Cowboys got the win. They got to win. The Falcons get a win over the Saints. Bears get a win. I think the surprising thing is the Vikings are still 4-0. That's a huge
Vikings are on fire.
storyline in the NFL. 31-29, but they just put the stomp down at the beginning of the game. So Packers scored 22 points in the fourth quarter. But anyway, they put the stomp down. So Vikings, will they go to the Super Bowl? My son's.
No.
He knows I'm a Vikings fan. I went to college in Minneapolis, Minnesota. But he's like, Dad, I don't know what I'm going to do if the Chiefs and the Vikings play in the Super Bowl. I still, as much as I love them, I don't think they're going to get there.
Rematch of Super Bowl 4.
Yeah. Washington Commanders are 3-1. That's another hot story right now.
They're doing good.
They have their quarterback, Chase Daniels, and he's looking amazing. So a lot of people, Commanders, now looking like a strong playoff team. Another contender. We got the Chiefs. Chiefs, they just love to do this now. They're like,
I know.
But I heard a stat this morning because I was listening to the Bill Simmons podcast. Shout out to him. He has a good podcast. But he was saying the Chiefs now are like 4-0 or 5-0 when they're down 10 points or something. There's something magic. So if the Chiefs are down 10 points, they're going to come back is what he's saying. But
Yeah, Chiefs are just a frustrating team to watch to play because all the game long is like, oh gosh, and it always comes down to the last 2 minutes. It's always the last couple minutes.
But
They really even played that good.
a wonky play. We don't know if Chase. Oh man, Rashid Rice.
He's out for a season.
Is it ACL tear?
Well, they believe it is, but
They think it's ACL. I don't yet to be confirmed, but not good.
It didn't look good.
Yeah, and that's a fluke play. He runs into Patrick Mahomes. How
Mahomes
bad does that feel for Patrick Mahomes to be like, dude, I just took out my best receiver. Obviously not intentionally, but so the Chiefs get the win. They're still 4-0, probably the weirdest 4-0 team we have in the league right now. The Bills, they were 3-0. A lot of people were on that Josh Allen train, including you over there.
Josh Allen.
And all of a sudden, 35-10, the Ravens.
Okay, so the Ravens are back.
Ravens are back. They're 2-2.
Yep.
So season's not over for them. They were looking, like things were going to collapse on them. So that's a little bit of the NFL. So I would say the hot storylines, the Bills getting that big win, or Ravens getting that big win over the Bills last night. They're 2-2, so they're back in it. The Chiefs 4-0, and then the Commanders looking like a team. Texans 3-1, but they're not looking like a strong 3-1. You got the Buccaneers that put the spank down on the Eagles. That was an interesting game.
Baker Mayfield was on fire.
As I am an anti-Baker Mayfield guy. What? Yeah, I'm not a big Baker Mayfield guy.
Oh, man.
I don't like his, it's weird. I like cocky guys, but then there's some cocky guys I don't like. So obviously I love Deion. He's a cocky guy, but then Baker, I don't know.
Not your flavor?
Yeah.
Okay.
For whatever reason, but anyway, interesting. And he talked a little smack against Tom Brady. It was a week or two ago.
Oh, really?
Took a little heat for that. So anyway, There you go. The Steelers are 3-1. That's a surprising team. Not totally surprising, but the 3-1. So that's the NFL right there. And tonight you got a doubleheader again, which we don't have the scores for. Titans, Dolphins. Dolphins 1-2. Things look like they're heading in the wrong direction. And then the Seattle Seahawks, the other undefeated team, versus the Lions. So that'll be. You got a hot take on that one? Prediction on that one?
The Lions could probably win it, but I really want the Seahawks to do it. But this is going to be kind of a telltale. If they Seahawks win it and they go 4-0, then they're just going to be really good. But I think if they lose this one, then it's hard to tell.
Are they playing at Detroit or at Seattle?
Detroit.
It's at Detroit. Yep, it's at Detroit. So that'll be interesting.
I think Seattle's going to do it though.
I hope so.
I'm looking at the spread right now. Detroit.
Gino's actually looking good.
What's the Lions' record so far?
The Lions' record, they're 2-1.
Okay. So
they're 1-1 right now at home. So they have lost a game at home. There you go. That's a little NFL talk. So upcoming games for the next week. That's week 4. We're in week 4. And then week 5 next week, some of the hot games. Not hot games, but you have the Jets versus the Vikings. Jets have a big loss. So I think the Vikings will get that one.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Vikings will get that.
Other big games, I'm looking through. You have Ravens and Bengals. So the Bengals could
Ravens.
I'm going to pick the Ravens.
potentially get back into it, or the Ravens. Commanders are versus the Browns, so they should get another dub, and they'll be 4-1. Big game, the Bills. This is going to be a big game for the Bills. We have the Bills at the Texans, and so that's coming up.
Bills.
We have the what else we got here? We got Packers and Rams. I like watching the Rams.
That's going to be a good game.
Yeah. Oh, the Saints. This is the Monday night game. Saints versus the Chiefs.
Is it at Kansas City?
It's at KC.
I'll pick
Saints.
Yeah, no. I think Kansas City is due for a loss right now. So
Casey's Kansas City favored by 5 in this game.
Yeah, but I don't know. I say the Chiefs gotta lose sometimes. I'm gonna kind of pick. I'm kind of be the underdog.
Has Taylor Swift even been to a game yet?
I don't care.
Okay. All right. And then on the college football note, I did get to watch. I watched a fair amount of football this weekend. I did get to watch most of the Colorado game. Colorado Buffaloes.
Did they win?
Versus Central Florida. The Buffaloes get the win. So now Colorado, Deion, primetime 4-1.
Yeah.
And they're looking good. So they're a legit team. I'm surprised they didn't get in the top 25, but they did not get there. And then Nebraska, they got the win as well. Nice. So they're 5-1 or 4-1, excuse me. But in the big games in college football, I'm scrolling through here. Oh, is Georgia versus Alabama. So Alabama was the number 4 ranked team, Georgia number 2. And Alabama, when I first looked at that game, Alabama was up 28-0, excuse me.
Dang.
And then Georgia comes storming back and they lose in the end, but 41-34 on that game. Ole Miss, I watched that game because I was bowling Saturday morning. I bowled fairly decently, but Kentucky gets the win over Ole Miss. Ole Miss was ranked number 6. Kentucky, not a ranked team, and they get the win 20-17. So that was a big loss.
Wow.
There, other games that were upsets. You have Arizona beat Utah. Utah was number 10 ranked team, so that's an upset right there. Then other games, as I'm scrolling through here, were pretty standard in college football there. So a few upsets here and there, and big thing.
Missouri won beat Vanderbilt in overtime.
Yeah. Missouri hangs on. So there you go. That's a little bit of the college football. I was going to try and get the rankings in front of me where people were at right now, but I don't have that right in front of me. But anyway, there you go. Little college football action going on. But anyway, you guys go ahead with some stories that you might have. I have a bunch, but I can go through. But go ahead there, Greg Walden.
Okay. Well, have you all read about Rainbow the cat?
Uh-uh.
Well, supposedly this family went to, I believe they went to Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went to Yellowstone. I guess they got separated from their cat. And so these people live in California, so that's a nice little haul from Yellowstone to California. So they couldn't find the cat, so they pretty much given up hope that the cat would ever see the cat again. But this cat had made its way almost the 800-mile trip. I mean, he actually found his way back into California, but I can't remember how they found it, but they actually got reunited. The cat actually came back toward California.
Wow.
It's crazy.
From where?
From Yellowstone National.
From Yellowstone to California.
Yeah.
That's going through the mountains, man.
Yeah.
That's just not like walking across Nebraska on flat land.
This cat's a trick. But I was listening to talk radio. They said something kind of funny. He's like, Well, at least the cat didn't have to walk through Ohio. He would have ended up in he would have ended up in a bowl of soup.
Wow. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Well, shout out to that cat for enduring, persevering.
It's a Disney movie in the making.
Well, I did that because I know you like cats so much.
Yeah, I would have. Yeah, anyway. So I would have Denzel. What's that movie where Denzel Washington has the Bible? He's carrying the Bible all across
Book
the
Eli.
country. Book Eli. Remember when he kills the cat? Doesn't he kill the cat for lunch in that one? Remember there's like
I think so.
There's like he's blind and there's
That's a really good movie.
There's the bald cat where he takes it out and eats it for lunch. I'm that guy. Lunch. I see lunch there. So
It's like, I'm eating in a restaurant in Ohio. I says, why is my soup purring?
yeah. Anyway, there you go. Okay, so I got a bunch of interesting news. So the first one I wanted to start off with. Did you have any other stories there?
No.
Okay.
Good.
So if you can go to a ton of people made YouTube videos on this, but Meta Connect 24 was last week. So, you know, like Tesla, Apple, they always do their big conference or show, you know, annual show where they release new products. Pretty much everyone does this now. Apple, whoever it would be, Meta, you know, the new Android phone, the new car, etc. So they had Meta Connect 24 where they were talking about their upcoming and new products. And so I watched nearly all of it. It was like 3 hours. Now I watched specifically with Zuckerberg. I watched the whole thing. And then I just was doing other stuff, was multitasking while I kind of listened to the other part in the background. But this is, okay, I want to break this down. I almost want to do a whole video on this. So I took notes as I was going through this. So what they have going up, number one, my first observation was Zuck's new look. Zuckerberg's like a little buffer now. He's growing the hair out. He's into Brazilian jiu-jitsu, all into it now. So anyway, because you heard about the fight. You heard about the potential fight between Elon and Zuckerberg? Mm-hmm. I don't think that's ever going to happen, but they tried to make it like it's a real thing. But Zuckerberg, he's a little bit buffer now. He's wearing like the baggy clothes. He's got the longer curly hair. So first, Zuck's new look. Secondly, the Meta S3. So I have the Meta 3 goggles, right? That was my big boy purchase last year. Again, it's more like if you're a gamer. Therefore, I was hoping to like use them for productivity and like my computer, but it's still a little wonky. But what I want to say is I am telling you, the Meta and the other companies are pushing so hard in AI right now. Mm-hmm. AI we're already using it. Like I talked to an old lady in our church yesterday who's like, I don't use the internet, but she's on Facebook 8 hours a day. I'm like, yes, you do technically.
Yeah.
And then, you know, so this AI stuff, I don't even care about it. I'm like, you're already using it. Mm-hmm. So first of all, I want to say to everyone is using AI right now.
Yep.
If you have a smartphone, you are using AI because if you pull up Facebook right now, go to your search bar. What does it say? Meta AI.
Yep,
That's what it says right there. And then if you Google, this is all A's. So I'm telling you guys, AI, there's such a push from every one of these multi-billion-dollar companies. And you might be able to say like, well, it's kind of wonky. It's not, people don't really like it. Nope. They're pushing, they would not invest this money into it if it's not going to be a thing.
It'd be like every Google search that you do, right? It's probably
is AI.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, so Meta S3 goggles were out there. They're like a $399 version. Pretty solid. I mean, if you're going to get into AR, VR goggles, I would suggest them. Still significantly cheaper than the Apple glasses and stuff like that. So Meta AI. So they're trying to make, so here's the other thing with AI. They're trying to make voice AI the natural way to interact. So that's the push. So now not only AI, but voice AI.
Okay.
That's the big push. So
like call centers or?
Well, just using instead of, so the big push, there's these new glasses called the Orion glasses, right? So so again, here's going to be the next breakthrough. So the biggest breakthrough in the last 20 years since 2000 is what? The smartphone, right? Yeah. So now the goal is you got to get this out of our hand, right? This is cumbersome because we got to hold it. We got to look at it. So how can we get this away from our hand,
right? So
we can have our hands free, right? So this is why now your beginner phases are what? The Amazon Echo, Echo Dot, all these kind of things, whatever you got be, and what's it all about? Alexa, what time is it? You know, there's multiple Alexas listening right now. I got some tablets over there for the worship team. I got the Dot. So now AI, Meta AI. So now they're like glasses. So they got the Ray-Ban glasses, smart glasses now, but the Orion glasses are the next. So if I'm making sense here, they're basically like the glasses Greg Walden has on right now.
Okay.
They need to make that with full AR, VR capabilities.
Okay.
So it's perfectly natural. It's not cumbersome. They're not big wonky goggles.
Yep.
Right? It's just like wearing a pair of sunglasses. It's just like wearing a pair of glasses, except now it will have every bit of AR, VR capability.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah, it's getting crazy. Like you can go there's some websites you can go to, like you can type stuff and you can pick a celebrity and it'll say it like a celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
I actually tried it a week ago. You ever
Like
heard,
with their voice and
you
their
ever
accent?
heard like David Attenborough? He does like a lot of nature documentaries and stuff. So I was making I would make something from when my bike broke down. So I thought, I'll play it here. Can you hear? Oh.
In the distance, we spot the elusive electric mountain bike known as Big Hoss, being attended
That's
to
AI?
by a group of bike enthusiasts. It seems Big Hoss has experienced a failure in its vital braking system, and without this intervention,
That's your bike.
it could very
that
well
broke down.
perish on top of this mountain. Life can be very hard on the mountain, and sadly we do see scenes like this play out every day. It is survival of the fittest at its finest display in one of the most demanding ecosystems.
Okay,
on
so
the
you
So is that guy dead?
So you went into what AI engine was that?
I can't remember what website it was, but it's like you go in there and you type it in and just pick the celebrity and it'll like after
So
4
he
minutes,
put in the script,
you put in a script and you submit it and and it
chose the voice.
Yep, you chose a voice and it thinks for a minute and it spits it out.
I want to do Arnold.
Yeah. Because here's the thing. When I was doing video announcements for church on Sunday, was it's a newer guy doing it, and I'm not like this profound editor, but I'm decent at it, right? So I use this thing called CapCut. It's kind of like iMovie beefed up a little bit. Yeah. So anyway, he gave me videos which I had to edit and add some layers, some text, stuff like that. So I got to the end and I needed more stuff. So I ended up just putting some music and some wording, all those kind of things. Anyway, on this editor, there is now AI tools. So basically I have like 100 different people I can choose from, girls, dudes, whatever. Then I can pick that individual. Then I enter in my script and then I could just put that person onto my video. And so you would just be like, hey, welcome to Grace Point. My name is Susie, and thank you for joining us today. Go to gracepointag.org or go to our Facebook page. Thank you for joining us today. And it'd be boom, just like that. So
wow,
I'd have my video AI person. I was going to do it, but I had to sign up for the monthly subscription, and I couldn't remember my Apple ID password. Otherwise,
it's always a hard thing.
Anyway, but this is, I'm just saying, I'm going to start preaching this from the rooftops because we have to consider this in the church as a pastor. How are we going to use AI or not use AI? Because it is here. It's not like coming. It's already here.
Well, why would you use AI in the church?
Okay.
In the church?
I'll give you a reason right now, which I think is awesome. Okay. So what they did in Meta 24, they brought out Zuckerberg and they brought out an MMA fighter. They both had on the Ray-Ban smart glasses. He's speaking Spanish. Zuckerberg doesn't know Spanish. They both have their glasses on. So they have whatever app or whatever. So they are able in that setting to sit there and have a fully translated conversation.
Nice.
Boom, just like that.
I can see that.
Okay.
Yeah,
So here's what I'm saying. I've been on lots of mission trips. Okay. I just got back from Mexico where I was limited in my terminology. Now I could potentially be able to just translate on the fly and have interaction. And I could use that for the gospel.
Yeah, I can say that. I can see it. Yeah, I can
So
see that.
you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I go back to this even and hopefully guys, you're not getting bored out of this, but I'm telling you, go check out the Meta. There's like 5-minute, 10-minute versions, right? You don't have to watch the 3 hours like I watched, but there's a bunch of people that did videos on it, but all that kind of thing. But it's here's what I want to say is the church, when television, and radio first came out, the church thought that was stupid. Some demonic, some like stay away from this. And what happened? They began to use that as a tool for the gospel. Now it's old school, right? You got these dudes that are like, what's his name? Jimmy Swaggart. Swaggart. Right? I got my radio program. I got my television program. And it's old school. It sounds dumb, right? To be like, even when I talk to people like, you should get a television program. You're like, why would I do that? I could have YouTube. I could stream. I could, have a greater expand, a radio. There was a radio guy that called me a while back of like, oh, don't you want to have a radio program for your church? And it was like $1,000 a month. They're like, okay, why would I do that when I could just make a podcast? I could go on Spotify and I would have exponential more reach than just paying $1,000 a month for your local television or radio program, right?
Yep.
So we did that. Then we bounced in the internet. The internet's evil, blah, blah, blah. Now everyone's got YouTube channels, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm just saying AI is something we got to think about.
Yep.
Well, yeah, like as far as like using the media and stuff, I mean, it's awesome to be able to use media, but I mean, I would still say like, yeah, we reach you by whatever, platform, but you still need to physically go to a church.
Yeah,
absolutely. Physical church. I mean, some people are like, well, I just go to church. I just listen to it on YouTube, whatever. But it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't replace. I mean, I'll listen to some certain. I'll listen to YouTube. So I'll go search YouTube. Mm-hmm. Here's some speakers I like to listen to, but it doesn't replace going to church.
No.
So I mean, I just want to make sure that mentality does not replace going physical, sitting in the church.
Yep.
And I just taught a membership class on Sunday. So but I'm just saying it's so fascinating with Meta, AI, and voice. The other thing was voice AI. So anyway, I digress, but I'm telling you, if you're into that stuff, check it out. And I'm just telling you, every company,
they're jumping on that
Apple
bandwagon.
to Meta, are spending billions on AI, and they're going to push it at every turn. So
think about it. All this technology, I know is a sign of the end, because like
yes,
in the end, I mean, think about it. There's like one, the gospel will be preached all the world. Well, this technology is helping the gospel get around the world. Two, if you're like I love what the Bible prophecy stuff, and you see when the two witnesses come and they are killed, and the world sees it in live. They can see it live.
Yep, instantly.
They're actually watching it live on TV. 60, 70 years ago, like there's no way they could have.
No.
They could have not. But now it's possible. They could see things as it's happening. You're seeing things happen in Ukraine as it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And AI, AI, all this stuff it's going to change the world. It's going to change the world. So like you work at a company that processes cheese. I'm telling you, you already have these mammoth machines that do all this stuff. And little by little, they're going to eliminate people.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot more automation coming.
Right?
In.
How can we automate? Elon talks about this. Elon is the guy who's like, there's certain things we can't automate, but automation is like priority number one, way up there. Like, what can we get rid of? So
now another one, because I know this is I love prophecy, but you're talking about the Antichrist and the beast, and it gives power to this image to speak. But I mean, it might be supernatural. I don't know, but think about AI, and you can have an image up with AI, just basically act like it just, I don't know, just kind of.
Yeah, it can take on the identity of a person.
So you're kind of thinking like all this stuff. I mean, like anything, it can be used for good or it can be used for evil.
Yep.
Like any technology,
Tremendous amount of wisdom is going to need. Anyway, I could go on forever about that stuff because I think it's so fascinating. And I keep telling people, like, because you talk to people like, well, I'm not very tech savvy, or like, I'm not into that, or I think that stuff is dumb or it's not relevant. I'm telling you.
It's right around the corner.
It's already affecting you. Like, again, all these old ladies in our church that use Facebook more than any of us, like they're using AI and they don't even know it. Like, no, you're using AI right now.
Yeah. AI it's a lot more play, like even where I work at, even the government's starting to use AI. I mean, it's all over the place now.
All right. You guys like DJ Khaled?
Never heard.
Come on, the DJ Khaled. I knew Greg Wald wasn't going to know him, but I knew you'd know.
We
the
the best.
We the best music.
I used to bump
Lil
him.
Bieber. Yeah. So anyway, so this came across my Instagram the other day. Exclusive, and he's always hawking product, and he's like, yeah, tell him to bring out the ocean. Anyway, he's like famous for all these little phrases now on Instagram. So Exclusive, this was from Rob Report. I saw it on Instagram, but then I looked it up. So DJ Khaled just dropped a gold-plated toothbrush, and he's hyping it up now. So after 4 platinum albums and even more hit singles, it's clear DJ Khaled has an ear for good collaborations. Soon after meeting the oral care experts at Arezi, he could sense that they were onto something amazing. So anyway, he's hawking this new gold toothbrush through Arezi, and he's like, we the best, so you got to get this. So the toothbrush is $59. The stand is $49. The toothpaste is $39. And the show-stopping mouthwash, $39. So you can go to Arezi and you can be like DJ Khaled. Rep that gold toothbrush. Trump will get that. He's a gold guy, isn't he?
I might be into the
Trump might get
toothbrush in the
this
stand.
DJ Khaled gold
He probably
toothbrush.
brushes with more expensive stuff than that.
Yeah, he might. So anyway, I just found that so hilarious. He's like in his DJ Khaled-ish way on Instagram
I
talking
wonder if he's
about
got
this
somebody like just brushes his
golden
teeth for him. He just opens his
toothbrush.
mouth and he just brushes his
What
teeth.
I was thinking exactly.
the grill.
So come here, toothpaste boy.
I brought it up because you're a man of greater means than both Jake and I, Greg Walden. So
But I still
I know you're always looking for, quality products.
I still go get a cheap $2 toothbrush from Walmart and just as typical. Now I do have to take Sensodyne because of my teeth, but still I ain't gonna spend no $30 on toothbrush or whatever that is.
Okay.
$50 gold toothbrush should be kind of dope.
Yeah. Okay.
What's it look like?
It's pretty basic looking.
Really?
It's basic looking. So I don't know. But if DJ Khaled says it's awesome, it's probably
Right.
awesome.
It's gotta be the best.
I always said my goal. Everybody talks about what they would do if they got $1 million. My goal is you drive by my house, you wouldn't be able to tell I had $1 million.
Yeah.
That's my goal.
Yep. Well, even the Oracle of Omaha, Warren Buffett, a lot of these super rich guys, they're pretty, he talks about living, below your standards and not being this crazy spending type person.
I would love to have enough to give. I mean, I would love to have, if I had $1 million, I'd be loving just to go out there and just give people money. And just
Now, Jeff Bezos is crazy. He's gone from I drive a Toyota and I'm a billionaire Toyota Corolla to hey, I got a plastic wife and a $500 million yacht. What's up?
Oh, speaking of Tesla, I was watching a show with Dad Saturday night before I went to bed. It's called American Greed. You ever seen that series called American Greed?
Mm-mm.
He was talking about this guy. His last name was Milton. He was trying to challenge Elon Musk for the EV stuff. So he came out with this big semi. It was all a scam, but he was getting people to invest money and all that stuff. I mean, people just give him $500,000 at a whack. I mean, he's getting all this money, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna make this new hydro hybrid semi truck that's going to beat Elon Musk out of the water for anything he's doing with his stuff." And so he got everybody investing, and then they had this big show, and they rolled this semi truck out. They unveiled it. It's a really awesome looking semi truck. But he's like, "Well, y'all can't really see inside of it because all the controls are active, so we don't want to, blah blah blah. But you can come touch the outside of it, and we assure you it's not a pusher. And if you don't know what a pusher is basically just a mock vehicle that." And so they did all this stuff, and then months later, he had this promo video. He went to this place because he was living out in Utah, so he had this video of this semi truck just rolling down the road, and it was real cinematic. I mean, he had all the flare and everything. People was getting everybody all pumped up. People just kept dumping money. And so this guy went and bought. The CEO, this Milton guy, went and bought a 2,600 acre house. The house, but the land was 2,600 acres. It was a big old mansion. Mm-hmm. It was the guy at the realtor said at the testimony said that was the largest at the time. It was the largest MLS sale in Utah history.
Dang.
Yeah, it was. This guy bought this. He was plunking all this money, and he was going on trips to Hawaii. He bought it. Then he went to some place in the Caribbean, bought a big plot, and so he's up there. And then all of a sudden, stuff start. Obviously, the lies started to catch up to him. So he's at this place in the Caribbean. He's telling his buddies, "Yeah, might want to dump your stock."
Really?
Yeah, you might want to dump your stock.
About to go down.
But this one guy went and dumped his stock, and he lost his shirt.
Woo!
And then they had this big investigation, and then they when they looked back at the video at the car show, you could see a power cord that was going from the bottom of the vehicle into the floor. So they were swiveling this guy. So they were basically powering out all the external lights. The vehicle had no motor.
Damn.
There was no motor at all.
Just a shell.
So what they did when they did that promo video in Utah, they took the truck, towed it up to the top of a hill, and just basically it just coasted. And they did all the video drone and everything like that. It was a big scam.
Dang.
Yeah, it was.
Got him.
Yeah, it was pretty. Yeah, but it was interesting.
And on that note, I saw this YouTube video. There is a potential 2025 Tesla motorhome project underway at 85.67K or 85.6, so around $86,000. A potential Tesla motorhome.
That's not that bad for a
So
motorhome.
yeah, I don't know if that's a real thing or not. There are some YouTube videos on that. They said they're going to potentially unveil that, but you can check that out. On that note, I think we should probably get to a little bit of spiritual talk. And what are you guys reading right now in your Bible?
Job.
I finished up Job.
I've been dissecting it for like a month, it seems like, but
Yeah.
there's just good nuggets in it.
What are you getting from it so far? Your hot takes from that?
Main thing is that a lot of people do blame God for everything. No matter what happens, I've never blamed God for anything, but a lot of people do. A lot of secular people are, God, how could God, this good God that you serve, just let all this stuff happen? But really, Job's like, why is this happening to me, God? It's not saying like, I forsake you, but it's Satan. In the beginning, Satan is the one who's coming. Yes, God allows him to test Job, but really it's Satan. These things that are happening, it's Satan. People don't realize it. It's not God. God's not or you know what I mean? God's not making people go out and just murder a whole bunch of people. That's Satan. So, I mean, that's really the take home from it. But the way he looks at it too, the thing that really hit home with me, and not to go off on it too much, is that no matter what, we came into this world naked and we're going to leave naked. So anything else that we're blessed with, like say if I lost you tomorrow, I mean, I would be really heartbroken. But the main thing that I would look is that I'm very thankful that God blessed me with the time that I did have with you. So keeping those things in your mindset of like when bad things happen, and you can look at more of the positive side rather than trying to blame God. So
I was actually listening to Charles Lawson talk about Job yesterday, and he was talking about Job. He's saying that all the stuff I was talking about, and really once but when God was like talking to him, he realizes like I can't know you, God, unless you reveal it to me. It's like people like I think I know about God, but you don't unless God reveals it to you. And then he was also talking about the Job is like people have this expectation like, oh, I become a Christian and everything should go great.
Right.
I mean, I shouldn't have any problems. I shouldn't suffer. And then you have he's talking about these like big mega, obviously the prosperity preachers coming out. He's like look, he's stationed in East Tennessee, so obviously you see what happened when that hurricane came through. He goes, wonder if these prosperity preachers what are they going to come down and tell the person that just lost their house in a flood, or this? It's like no, that's real life. Real life is is like what is the message you preach to somebody who just lost their house or bad things happen? It's like bad things happen. It's called you're living. It's this life. Bad things happen to everybody. It's like the Bible says it rains on the just and the unjust.
Yes.
So you're not just because you become a Christian does not mean you're exempt from bad things happening to you.
Yep.
But the difference is that when I talk to somebody about Jesus, like it's like why this? It's like God. His own thing is God doesn't promise me prosperity. He promises that He will be with me.
Yep.
That He will never leave or forsake me. He promises I won't have to go through whatever I go through alone. That He will be with me.
Yeah.
And everything happens for a reason. Now God blesses people, yes, but again it's God's sovereign. If all God ever did was save me, and that's all He did, He'd be worth serving for all eternity.
Absolutely.
If that's all He ever did is just like I see you're saved, and that's all He did. He'd be worth serving. I'd be coming to church. I would just love to serve Him. I want to serve Him just as much as if He blessed me with everything else and in life. So it's called the mentality. Is like is that that when we get saved, it's like that. Now we get saved. We learn through trials. We learn through persecution. And that, the Bible says that you will be. God does promise you'll be persecuted.
Yep.
He promises that you'll be hated.
Yep.
For His name, but He'll be with you. He goes with you, and so the trials and stuff are there to kind of refine you to greater faith. So how can you how can you really know God is God the healer if He's never healed you of anything? You never got sick and never got healed. How would you really know God the healer? Or if you had a need and never got provided for, how would you know God the provider? All these different attributes of God, you know them because you've experienced those attributes in your life, and so it's grown you from faith to faith to faith. Your faith gotten stronger because you've seen God His attributes being imputed, through blessings and stuff like that, and trials and tribulations.
It's you can just either let, in my experience and my opinion and in my understanding of Scripture, is you can let those things draw you further away from the nature of God or closer to the nature of God. is how I explain it. Meaning, like for me, like still my family, our greatest life event is when our daughter was born, super premature, 27 weeks. You know, I can go on the story. We lived in a Ronald McDonald house. She was like in a NICU for 12 weeks. It was just surgeries and all this stuff the first year of her life. But I always say, like, that's the closest I've ever felt to God, still to this day, because I let that experience draw me closer to and not farther away from God. Yep. And then that drawing to God, I was able to connect with his love for me, his nature, his character. And sometimes I miss it. I'm like, man, I don't think I've ever been that close to God since that time. And it was because I was so dependent and desperate and close to God. And I don't walk in that dependency right now. And so anyway, that's my take on it. So yeah, great book. And I would maybe connect the dots by saying I'm finished reading that, but now I'm in Ecclesiastes. Okay. And it's like, you know, another funny, depressing book.
So good.
It's another funny book though. Cause like until the last chapter, it's like, this is all worthless, man. This is just, like I've done it all. It's just meaningless. So we're like, what am I supposed to, what, but it gets to the end and it's a great conclusion. It's like, well, God, remember your creator. Like this is all meaningless without God. You can have all the money in the world. You can have women. You can have, everything that was available at that time to him, the writer of Ecclesiastes, which is most likely Solomon.
I agree.
Was available to him. And he's like, I've tried it all. And if you don't have God, you miss it.
Exactly. Yeah, he was balling. Yeah.
So anyway, good summation to life. Well, I think that's a good conversation for today, guys. So go watch Meta 24 and get creeped out and everything like that. And they're like, oh my goodness, Jesus is coming back, because he is. Yeah. And we've had a great conversation. So keep joining us each and every week. And we need to go celebrate Greg Walden's birthday. Eat some food or something like that. So Christian Men's Illustrated, like, share, subscribe. We'll talk to you guys next time. All right.